Greetings. Shabbat Shalom to those who are on this section of the world where it is Shabbat. Greetings and Shabbat Shalom to those who are on the other side of the world where it's probably nighttime. The sun has already set. Greetings to the 12 tribes of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and the man who used to be called Jacob, but whose name was changed to Israel. Greetings to their descendants who are scattered in captivity in the four corners of this earth. Greetings to them. And greetings to those who are not of the bloodline, but as olive branches from a wild tree, grafted into the holy tree, and want to serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Most High Yah. Greetings to you. And greetings to all who hate religion. To all who hate religion and the institutions and would like to see righteousness reign on planet Earth, and an end to death, and an end to suffering, and an end to unrighteousness. Greetings to you as well. We have been studying the prophecies of Daniel, and last night we looked at Daniel chapter 5, and we saw the fulfillment of what Daniel had told Nebuchadnezzar was going to come to pass with the concluding of his kingdom. And what was so important about that is that Nebuchadnezzar represented the last vestige of world domination by Ham's children. Nebuchadnezzar, let me repeat that. Nebuchadnezzar represented the last vestige of world domination by Ham's children. And then the next kingdom and the kingdoms succeeding that all the way to where we are right now are the children of Japhet. The children of Japhet have been running things on this planet for 2,000 years. And let me make it very plain for you. The children of Japhet, according to Genesis chapter 10, from 1 to 5, are who we call today Europeans, who we call today Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains, Ashkenazi from the Ashkenazi area, Khazarians, Irish, German, Polish, English, Anglo-Saxons, the Germanic tribes. These are Japhet's children. Okay? And that's who's running the planet right now. And they're the last group that's going to run the planet before Shem's children run the planet. Shem's children, out of whom come Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, who's going to rule this earth and rule in righteousness. I want to read something before we get to Daniel 11. A little bit controversial, but I'm not here to cause controversy, just to speak the truth. Today, brothers and sisters, we are talking about today where religion and politics meet. You see, brothers and sisters, when people want money as a means of acquiring wealth and becoming wealthy, right? And they want that wealth that also gives them power and influence, they go to Wall Street or something, whatever is like Wall Street. They go to London, they go to Wall Street, they go to stock exchanges, they go places where they can make money. They get into real estate. And they're into money because they're using money as a means of what they call freedom and what they think will get them power and wealth. But when people are simply looking for power, they don't go to Wall Street. When it's just about the power, they get into politics. And the devil tries to dress it up as being public servants. But if you want to be real, you know better. It's about power. Power to make laws, power to change laws, power to control armies. Politics is about power. We're going to read Revelation chapter 11 for a second. But before we do, I want to show you a couple of things. Psalms. Let's go back to the Psalms real quick. brother David, the king, who's going to rule again in Israel, in Jerusalem, over the nation. And that's what it is. The chosen people are not a denomination. Somebody say, well, what religion is this? It's not a religion. Let me repeat that. We don't serve in a religion. No. It's a nation. You say, well, where's the nation? The Bible tells us the nation is scattered because the citizens of the nation worship a different God from the God that created the nation. The God that created the nation, they cast off the way Adam cast off the creator himself when he chose to create his enemy. And because of that, the God of the nation scattered the nation and put them into slavery, with the promise that after they learned their lesson, he would bring them back. They would be awakened and they'd be brought back. Good morning, Mike. Psalm 62. Psalm 62. Very short psalm, actually. It's only 12 verses long, Psalm 62. Let's take a look at Psalm 62. Truly, my soul waiteth upon Yah. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against the man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Salah. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. They front. And their goal is to take the Most High down from his excellency. But they will all be slain. I love the word. It's not propaganda. It tells you exactly how it is. Shabbat Shalom. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. This is the Bible. Now, either you believe it or you don't. But it is what it is, my friends. My soul, wait thou only upon Yah, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In Yah is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in Yah. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. Yah is a refuge for us. This has become more and more evident as we get closer to the establishment of the kingdom of righteousness from Messiah. It's coming. It's coming quickly. Okay? And so, like I said, we don't have much more years left, and it's getting ready to be established. My salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength and refuge is in him. Trust in him at all times. Pour out your heart before him. He's our refuge. He's our protection. He's our strength. This ain't about a denomination. This ain't about visiting your local church. This is not about going and getting mass. This is about calling on the Creator, yourself. For truth, yourself. Between you and him, yourself. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before him. Yah is a refuge for us. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. You hear what he said? Men of high degree are a lie. They front. They smile in your face, but they hate you. They shake your hands and then kill you. Stab you in the back. This is the power of the sons of Yafet that we've been experiencing for 2,000 years. And they try to front and act like it doesn't exist. You cannot change the truth. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Yah has spoken once. Watch this. This is the part. This is a good part right here. I mean, it's all good, but watch this, verse 11. Yah has spoken once. Twice have I heard this, that power belongeth to Yah. Also unto thee, O Yah, belongeth mercy, for thou renderest to every man according to his work. Power ultimately belongs to the Most High. See, people fight for power in politics, but power belongs to the Most High. So what is it then? If you're fighting for power on this earth, you're fighting against the Most High. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. You're fighting against the Most High. Because politics, brothers and sisters, is not about helping you. It's about getting power for people that want power and using you as a pawn in the scheme to get power. The sooner we understand this, the better. And brothers and sisters, since the scripture just stated to us very clearly, power belongs to the Creator. He's not worried about the powers of this planet. He's not worried about the powers of this planet at all. He's not concerned. His concern is righteousness. His concern of righteousness is focused on the human beings that are seeking his righteousness. Shabbat shalom to all that just came in. Junior, Mike, Mark. So let's go now, before we go to Revelation 11, let's go to John, Gospel of John. Gospel of John, where Messiah had a discussion. See, brothers and sisters, this is interesting. This is because you know what? If you really allow the Father's Spirit to lead you in his word. See, this is a different word. I had a conversation with a brother that was a Muslim. Short conversation on YouTube chat. He told me, he said, brother, you have really good Bible study. You give good information, but you don't know about Islam. Islam worships one God. And the Quran mentions the prophets of Jeremiah and Moses and Isaiah. It mentions all those prophets. You want to know what my answer was to the brother? I said, you don't know the Bible, my friend. Because the Bible says there's only Israelite prophets. There's no Arab prophets. The Bible says, if you read it, that he only has one chosen people. And they come from Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and they come especially from the bloodline of Jacob. That's his chosen. There's no Arabs included. So you cannot say you believe the Quran and you believe the Bible at the same time. You can't say it. I'm not trying to tell you how it is. Because if the Bible says, like, for example, let me give it to you this way. If somebody made a declaration and said the sky is blue, and you believe that, you said, yes, the sky is blue. If there's any book or any declaration made that said the sky is purple, the sky is yellow, the sky is green, you don't need to go look at it. Why? Because you've already accepted the declaration that said the sky is blue. Anything that doesn't say it's blue is wrong and is opposite of what you got. You hear what I'm saying? So if he said, I've only chosen Abraham's children, I've never even talked to another nation. I have not chosen any prophets from any place except from Jacob. And somebody arises in another place and says, I'm a prophet and I'm writing a book. You don't even need to read it. I mean, if you're going to believe the Bible, you don't need to read it. Because either that's wrong or the Bible is wrong. You can't have it both ways. Then he said, well, the Quran mentions, I said, the Quran can mention anybody it want to mention. That don't make it legit. It can mention Moses. It can mention Abraham. It can mention Isaac. That don't mean it's legit. And my understanding is that Muhammad was an Arab. That's my understanding. He might have been a black Arab, but he was still an Arab. He might have been a Semite, but he was still an Arab. He was not of the children of Jacob. He's not of the scattered nation. I'm not saying he can't be saved, but what I'm saying is don't start no other religion and try to claim you an Israelite. Don't do that. Now you're messing up. Now you're trying to create competition. There's no competition. The Most High is not worried about power. He is power. Now, my Muslim brothers and sisters, just like all of us, the way I look at it, we're all learning. You may not understand what I just told you from the Bible. You may not have ever read it. Maybe all you know is the Quran. And I believe the Most High will have mercy on human beings that never had the opportunity to get the truth. He's going to judge you based on where you are, where you're from, what you know. But don't come to me telling me that you can believe the Quran and the Bible. Don't do that, because I know the Bible too well. And it says to me, you only, Israel, have I known of all the families of the earth. I've never spoken my law to anybody else. You only are the people that I brought out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage. You only are the ones that I've scattered into the four corners of the earth and made you slaves because of your disobedience. You only are the ones that become the tail and were the head. You're only the ones that had chains about your neck from other nations. You're the only ones that I've chosen. So we had that conversation because, brothers and sisters, as we get closer to the establishment of the kingdom, the awakening has begun. The words that I'm speaking to you at this particular minute are words of an awakening. 20, 30 years ago, people did not speak these words. I'm not original. It's part of prophecy. The children of Yafet have run the planet for 2,000 years. That's the truth. They run the planet through Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, Voodoo, children of Yafet, and of course, the crown jewel of the children of Yafet, Christianity. That's the crown jewel of the children of Yafet. That came out of Europe, y'all. That came out of Europe. And somebody said, well, what did they practice in Africa? You know what? If you go to Africa, they don't even know. I've asked Nigerians about their history. They only could tell me when it became Nigeria. They can't tell you what happened before. I asked Ghanaians, what happened? They only could tell you when Ghana became independent. They can't even talk to you about what happened before. And the Egyptians that are in Egypt, those are European transplants. The true Egyptians are in southern Egypt suffering. Same in Libya, same in Morocco. They don't even have equal rights to go to Mecca. They get treated like second-class citizens. You want the truth, you know why? Because they really the Israelites that don't know who they are. That's the truth about it. Why you think Nigeria speaks English and Ghana speaks English and the Ivory Coast speaks French and Cameroon speaks French? Why you think? Because the Europeans have overrun it. Because it's their time. That's why. It's their time. And the Bible tells us their time is coming to a close. And they're used to power. And power is politics. Yah says he is power. Power belongs to him. And he's got a government in the kingdom. You understand? He's got a government in the kingdom. Let's look at Gospel of John. Gospel of John, chapter 18. A very interesting conversation took place in Gospel of John, chapter 18, starting with the chief priests. See, this is the thing, brethren. You can see the dynamics of what was taking place as Messiah was on the scene the first time as a man. The same dynamics are going to take place when the mark of the beast comes. Same dynamics. That's why the Most High gives us this word. There's nothing like this word anywhere in the world. You're not going to find anything like this Bible. You're not going to find it. Now, you can choose to cast it off. To me, I'm a zero-sum person in regard to these things. I am. So either this book is telling me the truth or it's not. It can't be half wrong and half right. It can't have the Old Testament contradicting the New Testament. If I believe that, I would not be what I am. I would not be claiming to be an Israelite of the nation of Israel. And I would not be following this book if I thought that the Old Testament and the New Testament said different things. To me, it's illogical. It's against anybody's intelligence for somebody to say, well, we New Testament Christians and the Old Testament's done away with. It goes against logic. It's an insult to your intelligence. But what I have learned and what I have found, brethren, what I have learned and what I have found, okay, is that people are afraid or too proud to say, I don't know. You say, what? Yeah. So instead of saying, I don't understand the Old Testament, they say it's done away with. And others, instead of saying, I don't understand the writings of Paul, they say Paul is not inspired or Paul is not representing Israelites. Instead of just saying, I don't understand. And you know what? I don't understand makes more sense. You know what? If power belongs to the Most High, and the Bible says his understanding is infinite, how could you and I ever think to ever totally understand everything that he said? His mind is not something that, he created our minds, and our minds have been corrupted. How could we ever think we're going to totally understand everything that is going on? We're not. Moses said what was given to us and to our understanding is for us. What was not given to us is for the Most High. You understand? And there's enough in this book for me to understand that what I don't understand, I don't have to worry about. But here, this here in Gospel of John chapter 18, the high priest, which represents the religion of that power at that time. See, you have the religious leaders, which you have right now. You have religious leaders. And the religious leaders, they get religious leaders, the people that are in power, get religious leaders that look like you and me because they think we trust them, like our brothers trusted Balaam. And the religious leaders are being paid, controlled by the people that are really in power. That has not changed. That's why when I open now, one of the things I say, if you've noticed, I say, to those that hate religion and are finished with organized religion but want righteousness, greetings. Because the way the system is right now, a lot of people that have any semblance of intelligence, I mean, you ain't even got to be a genius, but this whole thing is insulting your intelligence. Like I had a meeting once when I started to awaken with the leadership of the SDA Church in Northern New England, the conference president and all of them. And they telling me what I need to be thinking and doing. These Caucasian Europeans. And I said to them, I'm writing checks that's paying mortgages on your churches. You working for me. They snickered. And I understood right there when they understood right there. They wanted the money, but they wanted this from me. They wanted to control this. And they realized that with this Hebrew right here, that wasn't going to happen. And they said, we're going to have to part ways with you. And I said, I think that's a good idea. John chapter 18. Verse 19. The high priest then answered Yahushua of his disciples asked Yahushua of his disciples and of his doctrine. Yahushua answered him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whether the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. Why askest thou me? Ask them which heard me what I have said unto them. Behold, they know what I have said. And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers which stood by struck Yahushua with the palm of his hand, saying, Answerest thou the high priest so? You see these people with these religious titles? They expect you to bow to them. They expect you to call them reverend, pastor, sometimes Holy Father. You know what that is, right? That's man trying to be God. You realize that, right? That's man trying to be God. Goes back a long way to Garden of Eden. Somebody said, well, you need to respect God's man. That's true. Who's God's man, though? The Bible tells us if there's a prophet, you respect the prophet. If it's a Levite, you respect the Levite. Because Levite is appointed by the Most High, by blood. But we don't have any Levites today because we've been scattered. The 12 tribes are so scattered and mixed, we can't even tell you who we are. But we do know we have been enslaved. We do know we have been described in the Bible because we had the stuff on our neck. We do know that we are the color right. The color's right. We know that. But ain't no Levites. And as far as a prophet, the Spirit will tell the heart of the listener. That's why Messiah said, go ask them that heard me. They'll tell you. Because when Messiah spoke, brothers and sisters, it was with power because he was representing his Father. That's all he came to do. He came to save which was lost. He said there came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He was sent by the Father. And so when he spoke, people knew either you loved this man or you hated him because he was going to affect you either way. They sent them guards out to arrest him, the religious leaders, the reverends, the pastors, the Sanhedrins. And them brothers went out to arrest him, caught him in the temple teaching, right? And when they heard him, spellbound, because the Father's Spirit was speaking through that man. And they came back without him, not even thinking about arresting him. And the leader said, what's going on? We sent you out to arrest the man. They were spellbound. All they said was, never a man spake like this man. That's what they said. They said, never a man spake like this man. That's bearing witness. That's what he said. Go ahead and ask them. They heard me. Ask them what I said. And because they couldn't say that, couldn't answer, they want to bring in witnesses. This was, think about it now, this is the middle of the night. They arrested the brother. They arrested our Messiah in the middle of the night. They didn't want witnesses. 9 o'clock in the morning when the people started arriving at Jerusalem for the feast, he was already hung up there on the tree. He was already there. This was what you call a kangaroo court. Okay? So now they figure they're going to handle it with the religious side. So they hitting them and stuff. Messiah said, verse 23, if I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. But if well, why smitest thou me? Now Annas had sent him bound to Caiaphas the high priest. And Shimon Peter stood, warned himself. And they said therefore to him, art not thou also one of his disciples? He denied it and said, I am not. One of the servants of the high priest, being his kinsman, whose ear Peter cut off, says, did not I see thee in the garden with him? Peter then denied again, and immediately the cock crew. Then led they Yahushua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early. And they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Passover. Let's stop right here. So Peter denied it. Messiah warned him after you do it. And when you get converted, strengthen the brethren. Peter didn't believe it. I would never do that. I would never deny I know you. Brothers and sisters, this is a spiritual war we're in. We need to understand the power of a spiritual war. If you're not sealed in Father's righteousness, when the spiritual war gets thick, and it's already starting to get thick, you're going to be in the dark side. There's no question. Here's Peter, one of his disciples, say, I don't know that man. Cursing and swearing. What the, blah, 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 I don't know that man. See? And in Luke, it gets deeper, because in Luke, when he denied him that third time, and the cock crew, Messiah, Peter was in shouting distance of Messiah. Messiah looked back from what he was going through and looked at Peter. And Peter knew. And then Peter went out and his heart was broken. See, that's the difference between a truly repentant man and Judas, whose plans just didn't work and he couldn't face the music. Peter was rebuked and he received it. And he repented. Which is why, if you notice, in this same Gospel of John, Messiah asked him 3 times, do you love me? Because he had to revisit all 3 denials. You see, brothers and sisters, we fall. We make mistakes. And you know what? As we're repentant to the Father, Messiah is Savior, the sacrifice for our sin. Therefore, he will forgive us. But check this out now. You're going to have to go back down that road again. And you're going to have to make the right decision this time. It happens to all of us. You make a mistake, he has no problem. He will forgive you. Messiah is the sacrifice for sin. But we're going to see if it's real, because now he's going to bring you right back down to that road again. What decision you going to make this time? See, when it came the next time for Peter, he allowed himself to get killed. He allowed himself to die. He died a martyr. Hung up on the cross upside down. Came right back to it. And they asked him, who are you? Blah, 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 blah. I'm a Hebrew. I'm following the Messiah. They said, oh, we're going to put you on the cross. I'm not even worthy to die like he died. Crucify me upside down. That's a man that's given over to the Spirit of the Father. And brethren, it's going to take that. Nothing less. I mean, I'm trying to tell you how to count this cost right here. This ain't no joke. This ain't joining no church or no choir. Are you in or you out? It's coming down to that. And it ain't up to me. I'm just a messenger. That's all I am. I could be wiped off this earth at any moment. It is what it is. But I know one thing. Messiah getting ready to establish a kingdom. And there'll be no more death. And he will show who has power. When the plagues start to fall, we're going to see who has power. Let's continue. Verse 28. Then they led Yahushua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment. And it was early. It was early. And they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, that they might eat the Passover. What do you mean judgment hall? They bring him over to the government. Again, government is about what? Power. They bring him over to the government. Because religion and the government, see, they were already connected. The scribes and Pharisees' power was they were just puppets for the Roman government. So now they couldn't handle their business with this man on their level, so they bring him now to the government. I'm trying to tell you, this is exactly what we're getting ready to deal with. Religion and government. Because government is about power. Satan wants power and he wants worship. Therefore, he's controlling governments. And he's going to use governments to try to affect how you worship, who you worship, where you worship, when you worship. He's already done it. Why do you think all these people in all these Christian churches with white Jesus smiling at lamb, white Jesus, a little stick, white Jesus with a little heart? Why do you think that is? They're already controlling everyone's mind and their pocketbooks. John chapter 18. Pilate then, verse 29, went out unto them and said, what accusation bring ye against this man? They answered and said unto him, if he were not a malefactor, we would not have delivered him up unto thee. See, there's code right there. Check it out. Check it out. So they at Pilate, the government says, what is the charge? They had no charge. So all they, if you were a criminal, we wouldn't bring them to you. In other words, that's code between your government contact and your religious leaders. This is a man we want to get rid of, Pilate. Don't ask too many questions. Just get rid of him. This is a man we want to get rid of. If he were not a criminal, we wouldn't have brought him to you. Pilate said, what did he do? Now Pilate knows what he's dealing with. Oh, shoot. This is a business deal here, okay, based on our relationship. Then said Pilate unto them, take ye him and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto them, it is not lawful for us to put any man to death. Now they're telling him. He said, look, go punish him according to what y'all do. Handle it in your Jewish business. And they said, nah, this is one that we want dead, Pilate. And we can't kill a man according to the Roman law. You got to do it. That the saying of Yahushua might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Yahushua and said unto him, art thou the king of the Jews? Now, in the book of Luke, he said, thou sayest it. But when you look up the interpretation of thou sayest it, you know what he's saying, really? That's right. That's what he's saying. That's right. Yep. Yep. That's what he's saying. You said it. That's right. Yep. I am the king of the Jews. Yep. Chapter 18 of John, verse 33 and 34. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Yahushua and said to him, art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahushua answered him, sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me? In other words, did you hear me speak and you decide this, or did my accusers just say that? Then Pilate answered, am I a Jew? Thine own nation and chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? See? So now he's telling them, I haven't heard nothing of you. I don't know nothing about you. Jesus, Yahushua, Hebrew. I don't know nothing about you. You just another nigga. They brought you in. What you do, man? Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from thence. So he's now stating again, you were right. I am a king and you were right. But my kingdom is not of this system, not of Babylon, Roman, you and the Jews system. Not in that system. Not of this world. Because if it was my kingdom for real, you would have a problem. But it's not from here. Now, verse 37, Pilate therefore said unto him, art thou a king then? Yahushua answered, thou sayest that I'm a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness of the truth. Everyone that is of the truth is my voice. Remember, combine that. So you got to bring together. What did he say? I came not but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Everyone of the lost sheep of the house of Israel that I came for, that hears the truth, will hear my voice. Pilate, he's way over Pilate's head now. Because you see, brethren, the Most High in his word doesn't speak in terms of philosophical differences. He doesn't speak in terms of philosophy at all. Philosophy came from the Greeks. The Greeks brought the whole philosophical thing, which they stole from the ancient Egyptians, the Mizraim of the children of Ham, and they created this whole philosophical system. So even today, Christianity is about, well, what, that's an interesting take on your philosophy about the resurrection. And that's how they do this. With the Most High is concrete. This is my command. This is what it is. This is righteousness. This is how you get it. It ain't no philosophy. But now to Pilate, being the son of Japhet, he's thinking in terms of philosophy, and he says, art thou a king then? And then later he said, what is truth? That's what he asked. What is truth? Philosophical. That's how they deal with things. Okay. At the end, it's about power, and they want power, and they take power. For other stuff, they can just play with, like truth. What is that? According to who? Like, how you philosophical, what does that mean? Truth. Now, to the Hebrew, listen here. Whatever come out the Father's mouth is truth. That's the definition. It said the word is truth. That's his word. That's the Father's word. Is truth. Messiah, who's his representation, his son, his only begotten, he's truth. The Spirit of the Father that brings righteousness to your soul, that's truth. That's truth. And anything that agrees with those three, because those three agree completely, is truth. If it doesn't agree with them, it's not truth. The covenant is truth. Period. It's not complicated. Man makes things complicated. Yah does not. He does not make it complicated. How many gods are there? One. And he has a covenant with one people. See? That's what my Muslim brother, well, we believe in one God too. Yep, I told him that. Yeah, you do. It's a different one, though. It's not I serve. Because mine says there's only Israelite prophets, Hebrew prophets. There's no Arab prophet. So that would be confusing. Malcolm X used to say, well, Islam means the belief in one God, and all of us serve one God. He didn't realize my man Malcolm X died early before he had a chance to be truly awakened. And I believe he's coming up in that first resurrection with the righteous because the brother gave himself honestly, earnestly, and for truth. That's what I mean. Most High will have mercy on people like that. But no, we don't all serve the same God. That's why there's false gods and one true one. That's why. And you can have one God. Shoot. I can say this one bottle of water is my God. One God. I can say that. This bottle of water is my God. One God. That would be the true God. That'd be a false God. This bottle of water didn't create the earth. This bottle of water didn't speak things into existence. This bottle of water, I'm not made in the image of this plastic bottle. You understand? Gospel of John, chapter 18. Pilate said unto him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again into the Jews and said unto them, I find in him no fault at all. Again, you just see words on the page, right? But there's power of spirit and righteousness that were interacting between that Gentile and Messiah. And that Gentile felt the power of the Jews. And that is treason. That is treason. Pilate said, no, man, I ain't messing with this. On another gospel, he always showed that his wife told him, don't have anything to do with that guy. I'm trying to tell you, I had a dream about him. Leave him alone. But you see, when it comes down to power on this earth and religion and politics meet, all reason, all righteousness goes out the window. That's what I'm trying to tell you. None of these politicians care about you. The only thing they will do is do some sort of front to act like they care about you to get you to trust them. But when it comes to power, and now you're already seeing power and religion meet, just not paying attention. They got you talking about conservative and liberal while they stack in the Supreme Court with Roman Catholics. While both the houses of Senate are in Roman Catholic hands. And if not Roman Catholic, evangelical Christians. And they make a big deal when the Ilhan Omar, a Muslim, comes in there. And the poor sister don't realize they own her stuff too. See, it's already happening. It's already here. It's like I had a friend that died of cancer. My friend thought they had a cramp in their side. And all the time she didn't know. And the cramp was getting worse and worse. And she went to the doctor. They said, oh, you got the cancer spread all into your internal organs. It's stage 4. There's nothing we can do. And within a week, don't know, about 2 weeks, she was dead. She didn't even realize it was already there. There was nothing she could do. And that's what's going on right now. The religion is already taken over. The government has already bought it. Every established religion institution that you know is owned and controlled by the government. Stop trying to play fans of red and blue or Jehovah Witness or Muslim or Islam or SDA. Like your favorite sports team. Like I like the Knicks. I don't care who's in the uniform. I still like the Knicks. So I'm going to root for the Knicks no matter who's in the uniform, right? Because I'm a fan of the Knicks. Don't treat religion like that. Don't treat your soul like that. Everyone that's of the truth will hear the voice of the Messiah. Bear witness, he said. He bear witness of the truth. It's not about truth, man. Okay, what color, what guys, what uniform is wearing. It's got to be truth. Now look, Pilate says, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again into the Jews and said unto them, I find in him no fault at all, but ye have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover. Ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews. He said, you must want the King of the Jews to be released. He is the King of the Jews, so I can release him. Then cried they all again, saying, not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber. He was a robber and a murderer. It's interesting. Barabbas was a robber and a murderer. And the word Barabbas means son of the father. So you had two men in custody that were claiming to be the son of the father. One was fake and one was real. Because of their connection between the government and religion, the real one, they wanted killed. Because Satan controls government and religion on planet Earth. They wanted the fake one delivered to them. The one that claimed to be son of the father, that was really a robber and a murderer, they wanted him. Barabbas. That's what it means. Bar means son on the Greek side. Abba means father, son of the father. So the one that's called Yahushua, the one that says Yah exists to save, they wanted to kill him. But the one that was fake, they took. And brothers and sisters, I'm trying to tell you, if you stand for truth, you're going to be alone. You're going to be in the minority. And I ain't talking about skin color either. Because when power and politics on this earth meet, the whole thing is rotten to the core. And it's already met. One of the first, when my awakening started, really started in earnest, it was probably around 2007, 2006, 7, 8 in that time. And one of the things that really caused me to start thinking about where I was, Hillary Clinton did a commercial and said, of course, we love the SDA church and they play a vital part in our society and our culture. And I was like, wait, there's a problem. There's a problem. When the devil is happy with you, there's a problem. Do you hear what I'm saying? If the devil is smiling at what you're doing, there is a problem. And this chick was on television talking about the SDA church is a vital part of our culture. We love the SDA church. I was like, oh my God, there is a problem. You understand? If you're speaking truth, government won't like you. Churches won't like you. They're going to be against you if you're speaking truth. Revelation chapter 11. We can go to Daniel 6. I'm trying to tell you, though, it's politics meeting religion. And right now, politics and power of politicians and politics and governments control all the religion of planet Earth. I already told you that. Well, better than me telling you. The Bible told you. What about it? It said the dragon. The devil is the dragon, It said the dragon gave him his power, seat, and great authority. Did it not? Yes, it did. Let's start in Revelation 11, the two witnesses. Let me explain very quickly about the true witnesses, okay? I know a lot of people have all kinds of philosophies about the two witnesses, and I could go into that in more detail another time, but I'm just going to give you, because really we're going into Daniel 6 today. But really, look, the two witnesses, some people say, and they're on the right track. I'm not going to say they're completely wrong. Some people say the two witnesses are Moses and Elijah, because, you know, those are the two that bore witness to the Messiah on the Mount Transfiguration. Remember that? It was Moses and Elijah. Remember that? Moses and Elijah. So that makes sense. That makes sense. So that when you see the two witnesses of Revelation 7, they say, oh, that's Moses and Elijah. Not quite. But you're close. And let me tell you what. What did Moses represent? Moses gave the children of Israel, the Most High used Moses as the intercessor to give the children of Israel what? The commandments, statutes, and judgments, correct? So the whole law came through Moses. Bible said Moses, it said the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Messiah, right? That's what he said. So you have the law given through Moses. What about Elijah? Elijah stood on Mount Carmel and bore witness to the power of Yah. How? Because he had to make two altars. Remember? They made two altars. He said, I'm going to pray to my God, and you pray to Baal, the Lord. And let's see who likes the altar. They was out there all day, oh Baal, hear us, oh Lord, hear us. They were cutting themselves. Nothing happened. Elijah just sitting there all day, just watching. 400 prophets of Baal was there. And the crowd was there, thousands sitting out there watching. All Elijah did, first he said, man, look, put some water on it. They put water. He said, put more water. In fact, dig a trench and put so much water, it fills the trench. They did. Elijah bowed down his knees and connected with the Father. And the fire came down out the sky and lit the sacrifice and the water that was in the trench. And everybody bowed down and said, Yahweh, he is God. Yahweh is God. So Elijah bore witness to the power of Yah. So you had the law and you had the power. You understand? You had the law and you had the power. That is represented in the covenant. The two tables of the covenant. That's the law. And the Spirit gives what? The power. Got me? Now, let me ask you a question that you should know by now. If the Spirit and power of the Father is represented in the covenant that he made with his people and is represented, remember he said, who in whose heart, remember we read last night, Isaiah 51? The people that know righteousness is the people in whose heart is my law. The heart gets the law by the power of the Father's Spirit. So who's going to be the people in the last days that's going to bear witness to the power of the Father's Spirit and obedience to his law? Who is the people that's going to receive the seal in their foreheads that bear witness? It's the 144,000. Therefore, the two witnesses are the Father's power of the law and the Spirit that is borne witness by the 144,000. You understand? Okay? Revelation chapter 11. And I want to tell you something. We're living in the time of Revelation 11. We're in it right now. And what you're getting ready to read is about to happen. Revelation 10 already happened. Revelation 11 is about to happen. It's underway. Okay? So watch. And there was given, and the holy city shall lay tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. And I will give power to my two witnesses. And they shall prophesy 1,203 score days clothed in sackcloth. Now I want to show you something. 42 months is 1,203 score days. Same time frame. 3.5 years. 42 months is 3.5 years. Okay, a year is 12 months, right? 3 years is 36 months. Half a year is 6 months. So 36 plus 6 is 42. 360 days in a Hebrew year. 3 years, 1,080 days. Okay, 1,080 days. And then you add 180 to that, you get 1,260. Same time period. So we're talking about a 3.5 year period. Okay, where they're attacking, where they totally take out the truth, and all that's left is the two witnesses bearing witness of the truth on the earth, which is the 144,000, and the message of the righteousness of the Father and his law. These, see, I will give power to my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy. See, I will give power. See what I'm saying? That's the Elijah part. Go give power. The two witnesses are the Moses part, the law, right? I'm going to give power to my two witnesses, and it's bearing witness by the 144,000, his chosen messengers. Hold the winds until I seal the servants of Yah in their foreheads. I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees, the two candlesticks standing before the Most High of the whole earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. If any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and their power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that is sent out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, where our master was crucified. What does that mean? When it says kill them, it doesn't mean that they're going to, the individual 144,000 are going to die. The message is going to die. They're going to stop the message. It's going to stop. Because it's going to come to an end. It's going to come to a point where everything is done. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. He that is holy, let him be holy still. He that is filthy, let him be filthy still. There's a limit to the message. And when the message stops, that's when they're going to try to kill us. They won't be able to kill us, but we're going to be running from them, just like Elijah. Remember Elijah now? Elijah ran ahead of Ahab's horse and chariot back to the palace. And he was outside in the rain that he had caused to come by power of the Spirit of the Father. Remember, it hadn't rained in 3.5 years. And so when that rain came and he was outside, the messenger came to him and said, Jezebel said that tomorrow at this time, you're going to be dead. This is a man that just stood in front of thousands of people and caused fire to come out the sky and burn up a sacrifice. He was scared of Jezebel's threat and he ran. That's how we're going to do. The threat is to kill us, and we're going to run. And he got some food from an angel. Listen now. Angel said, the journey is too far for thee. Eat. Gave him a cruse of water and some bread twice. Then Elijah went 40 days with no more food after that. Listen now. Now, okay, Sodom in Egypt is this whole Babylonian system. It was a political alliance between religion and politics that caused the death of the Messiah. This is what you're seeing here with Sodom and Egypt, an alliance of disgust, abomination that maketh desolate. The word abomination means a disgusting thing. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell on earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, send gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. Yes, the truth torments them. The truth torments them, doesn't it? After 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yah entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them that saw them. And they heard a great voice of heaven unto them, saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. In the same hour, there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to the God of heaven. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Here's the 7th trumpet. And the 7th angel sounded. That's the last one. And there were great voices in heaven saying, here you go. The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our master and of his Messiah. He shall reign forever and ever. In other words, your political system, your alliance between political and religion is over. And the true power is going to reign. And the 24 elders which sat before Yah on their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped Yah, saying, we give thee thanks, O Yahweh Al Shaddai, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and has reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. You see, brethren, right before Messiah returns. 7 last plagues are fallen. The last plague is the return of the Messiah. That's the last plague, actually. And before that, you have 5 plagues of physical damage going on to people that have received the mark of the beast. The 6th plague that comes is when the devil impersonates Messiah, and he pulls his spirit and power on the religions to try to rally them together to kill us. That's why the Bible says in Revelation 19, I saw the beast and his armies gathered together to make war against Messiah and against his armies. That's what's coming. Okay? And then the last plague is their complete and final annihilation. So that's why he says that thou shouldest destroy them that destroy the earth. And the last thing that's seen in the 7th trumpet, very interesting. Watch it. The last thing that you see, is it Messiah? Is it the Father? What's the last thing that you see before the kingdom is established and this whole thing is over? What's the last thing they show you in the 7th and final trumpet? Watch. And the temple of Yah was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple. What was seen? The ark of his testament. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and earthquake and great hail. The last thing seen was the ark of the covenant. That's the last thing. Why? That's the 2 witnesses right there. That's what this whole thing is about right there. It's about his word and his righteousness being challenged by the enemy, Satan, who gave power, seat, and authority to the powers of this world and combined religion and politics. Daniel chapter 6. Daniel chapter 6. I love the word of the Most High. You don't have to guess. It shows us plainly what's coming and why it's coming. I praise him for that. He's a faithful God to show us ahead of time what's coming so that we'll be prepared. Daniel chapter 6. Now, last night we saw the end of the Babylonian Empire, the end of the rule of the Hamitic people. Now, Darius the Mede, a Caucasian from the sons of Yafet, he's now taken the kingdom, right? 62 years old. Let's look at chapter 6, Daniel chapter 6. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, which was 120 provinces into 340 province divisions. And each had a president over them. It's like a government, right? Like a governor of a state. But they all answered to Daniel. Daniel was the top dog. Isn't that unusual? So you got a Hebrew that was in the previous administration, the previous kingdom, where normally a king comes, he got his own crew. He takes everything out and takes his own crew. But he saved Daniel. Daniel had a rep, filled with the spirit of the holy gods. The Most High Spirit was upon him. And this man said, no. We're going to use this man right here, Daniel. Okay, so now Daniel's in government. Daniel's a leader in government. Therefore, Daniel's involved with politics. He is working for the government. Okay, what happens? Daniel chapter 6. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. See, because when you're in politics, you get corrupted. You can't swim in the cesspool and not ending up smelling like what the cesspool is filled with. You hear what I'm saying? You can't swim in the cesspool and not smell like dung. It's corrupting. So Daniel was there, not by his own choice. They put him there, and the Most High had him in there, but he wasn't smelling like dung. And they didn't like it. He wasn't partaking of the bribes and the things that come with corrupted power. And they didn't like it. They had to get rid of this man. He doesn't belong here. Verse 5. Then said these men, we shall find none occasion against Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God, politics, and religion. We shall find none occasion against this Daniel, except we find it concerning the law of his God, politics, and religion. There it is again. Verse 6. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. So they appeal to his pagan background. See, pagans don't understand that the devil is really using them, in this whole thing that man can be God. That's why you got all these different religions where you got reverends and pastors and holy fathers and all that. Because they really think they could be God. That's the man becoming God thing that the devil told Eve. He don't want you to eat this tree because he know you can be a God. It's still being played to the utmost right now, even more. Man could be God. So he said, nobody should worship any God or make any petition except you, king, because you really the God. At this time, the king didn't realize what was going on. He really didn't know what was going on. He was being deceived. And Daniel was actually told that at this time, Gabriel was actually beside the king to try to strengthen him, to guide him. Notice in Daniel chapter 11, verse 1, Gabriel tells Daniel this. He says, I also, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. So angels that were with Daniel were trying to focus on this heathen to help him in his decision making because he got the servant, the Hebrew was there. Okay? Daniel chapter 6. Verse 8. This is important. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. So the law was when the Medes and the Persians created a law and it was signed by the king, it could not be changed. That's called infallibility. That means they never admit to making a mistake. Do you ever have a government? Do you ever hear any government that never admits to making any mistakes? Papal infallibility. There it is. Not only that, have you ever heard a politician say, we are a nation of laws? You ever heard that? We are a nation of laws. Isn't that what they say? The question I always ask is, what law? Whose law? Because this nation of laws changes. It depends. If it's Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton, there's one set of laws, right? If it's Jeff Bezos and George Soros, it's one set of laws. And if it's me and you in the street, it's another set of laws. They said we're a nation of laws. I praise the Most High. He has but one God and there's but one law. It's the covenant that he made with Israel. All this other stuff is what they call Babylon. It's confusing. So they signed this law. Verse 9, wherefore King Darius signed the decree and the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel was aware that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. 3 times a day, he opened his window toward Jerusalem. Why? Remember, because the promise was after 70 years, they're going to return. Jerusalem was in ruins. Temple was destroyed, but he is praying toward Jerusalem. Now, wait a minute. If this Bible is telling me Daniel prayed 3 times a day before Jerusalem, why would I need to pray to a brick square in Saudi Arabia. Wouldn't that be contradictory? Let's keep going. Daniel chapter 6. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. He prayed 3 times a day. And remember, he was in the government. Remember, the government's about power. So in order for Daniel to remain humble, to remain and understand who he was in relation to this government, he prayed toward where his God told him to meet him in Jerusalem 3 times a day. Keep yourself humble, keep yourself connected, keep yourself focused, keep yourself grounded in the truth 3 times a day. And Daniel was in government. See what it takes to be able to survive when you get some sort of juice in today's government? 3 times a day, this Hebrew faced Jerusalem. Pray. Okay. Daniel chapter 6. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. The king didn't realize they were setting Daniel up until that moment. When that came right there, that's when everything came before him. See, because in politics, it's a dirty game. It's about power. And if somebody or something is in between you and more power, that thing has to go. That's the way it is in politics, especially in this world. If we're not on the same team playing together for power, and I need more, and you're in my way, you got to go. That's how it is. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored to the going down of the sun to deliver him. He was talking to everybody of influence. He's the king now, and he's trying his best. That's when the Bible said, Gabriel said, I was by his side to strengthen him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king establishes may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy most high, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And the stone was brought and laid upon the mount of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his Lord, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. The death penalty. The death penalty was given to Daniel when politics and religion met. The death penalty was given to Daniel when politics and religion met. Whosoever would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Whosoever would not worship the image of the beast, Revelation 13:15, should be killed. Daniel was given the death penalty when religion and politics met. We're already in a system that combines religion and politics. So now you know, if you follow this Bible and go against this system, you already know what's headed. You already know where you're headed. You already know. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My most high, which have sent his angel, have shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, their wives. And the lion had mastery over them, and break all of their bones in pieces wherever they came at the bottom of the den. This is the end result of the people of this world that combine religion and politics and try to get power to force Yah's people into their system. This is the end result when Yah's people stand, when 144,000 stand for the truth and are not moved by threats and lose everything, but stand firm for the truth. This is the end result. Then the king Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God and steadfast forever. And his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in the earth, and who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. May the Most High keep you in truth. Truth is going to cost you everything, and it's going to cost me everything. Religion and politics are already mixing, and we already see what's going to happen. And we already see how we're going to be delivered. Praise Yah. We're going to stop now and return at 1 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And we're going to then go back and start Daniel chapter 9. May the Most High bless you and keep you in righteousness and truth for his name's sake. Amen.